Welcome, my friends. I hope that you're having a great day today. And I was working on something. I said, hey, why not better come along with others? Let me just put a little bit of music. I'm working right now on an Ecom store for myself. And I said, hey, with all these different things, if you have a question or something like that, I'm just gonna be working, and instead of doing it alone, I say, hey, why not do it with other people that actually make it more interesting? So let me just show you here. So this is what I'm working on. I'm working on my new Ecom store to actually launch it soon. So we have built the designs. So let me just go here and show you. So we're getting everything ready to go. Let me see here. I'm gonna save music on this side. Let me just add the music to this thing. That's what happens when you're doing a million things. I'm hearing the music, but I'm not hearing the music on this side. Let me just bring it here. There you go. So we have now the music on the stream. So let me just make sure that it's not too loud. There you go. Okay, so we have different collections right now. And there's hoodies, there are water bottles, and other products that we're working on to bring. But the idea is, how do we build all this? So we're building all this in Clickfunnels 2.0. So if I go and I actually go here, I have all my products directly on the store. And I'm like, I already have probably 300 and some products. So I'm trying to get everything ready for that. And the whole idea is that, how do we customize this whole thing? So I'm going through the whole process of getting the store ready. So if I go here, I can customize my storefront the way I like it. I don't have to allow a specific theme or something. So I am working right now. So this one in here, I don't want to have this section here. So all that I can do, that I can just remove it from here, and I'm good to go. I'm trying to get a look and feel, and the details of what it is that, you see, when it comes short, I get the options for my collections, and I can display the products in that way. And now I have the option to bring an add to cart functionality. So as we go through this, I'm gonna be just working on my store. So this is not an actual demo. You may see things that you learn, but what I'm gonna be doing is just working on all the details. So one of the things that I had to finish is that, let's say when I go to the, let's say that I want to add an opt-in. Let me go to the bottom. You see, I have the opt-in ready. So hey, you want to join in? So I want to edit this component so I can capture that person. So I need to create an automation. So then we're going back out and going into automations and workflows. And I'm just going to be testing. So I have the first one, that is when you come to the store. The second, when you go to the products page, when you go to the individual products. So I'm trying to capture all under one. So as you can see, you can take actions on the different events that can happen on the page. So the whole idea. So in this case, I'm looking for an opt-in, and then I'm gonna look for the, so I already have the regular page, and my theme is called the Ecom. So I have Ecom products. So I think that I captured them all already. Yep. So I have the 3 that I need. And then the next thing that I need to do is that I want to tag. So I can take different actions. I can send a message, an email. Let's say that I want to give them access to when they opt in. Here's an ebook. So I wrote a new ebook, and I'm gonna be probably giving that out. But let me just go. The most basic things that you want to tag your users. So here, if you have a tag, it will find you select add tag or remove tag. But in here, I'm gonna go to and I'm just showing you here. So in that way, I know where they came from. And I can go. Okay, so after we go through here, I'm going to then make sure that I can notify myself, but I don't want to get notified on everybody that opt in. I just want to get notified when somebody purchased something. So for this right now, I'm going to send an email, and I'm going to look for a theme in here. Let's see. Very basic, simple email. This basic e-commerce. So I could put my logo here. I can put an image, and then I can put a couple of things. So I think that this will be a starting point. And the cool thing is that you don't need to finish everything at once. You can just start the process, and then as you go through it, then you add more. So welcome to startup merch store. And one of the cool things is that now I have the option to add the contact information. So whatever they put in, I can use it. In this case, because they're just giving me the email, I'm not gonna put email. So, but if they give me more information, I can add the first name, the last name. So here, welcome to Startup Merch. And I already configured the different accounts where the email gonna go out and how it's gonna come back. Okay, so now that I created the email in the area, I can come and click edit email. And this will open then the actual email editor. So I can go through it. And if you're seeing something, you have a question, you can drop it in the chat. And I have the chat on this screen so I can see it. So let's customize this email. So the email logo, the first thing that I could do is that I can change this email. This logo. And I like to keep things organized. So I'm gonna click this plus sign here, add folder. In this case, I can have the different logos. And now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna bring a logo. So I'm gonna go upload. Okay, now I have the logo. And then I'm gonna create another folder because I wanna like show. I've been working with some designers, so they create me some images. So let me bring one of the images. So we have here like someone that is buying at the store and is happy, so they create me this. So but the image that I want, the first one is the logo. click insert. And now we have this huge, gigantic logo. And all that we had to do is on the side, you see that it says auto width. We're gonna take that out. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna then move that to make it small. Again, depend on the size. And then we can now start configuring this email. So this image, I don't need it for now. So I'm going to, I'm gonna move this in here. And one of the tricks is that if you don't have a pre-header, the first text that you have will appear on the email. So you want to make sure that you have something that they know what it is when they open the email, or before they even open the email, so it will appear. Okay. Let me then change this image. And I have another image now that I remember. I'm gonna take this one. There you go. So you have like a little image that is the same image that is in the store. So you see, so there's a little bit of consistency across when you're doing something. And now let's say that I don't know what to write. I'm gonna open my trusty sidekick. And I love this new model. So let's go and say, no, let's start with just a welcome email. Okay, so I'm giving them a little bit of detail of who I want ChatGPT to be. And then I'm asking them to write something. And this is something very simple, but the best way to do it, and when I teach my students, the best prompt give you the best outcome. So that is one of the best ways to think about it. And you can just write to it or speak to it, and then it will give you that. So let's see here. Okay, so here we have a couple of details. Okay, so even catch the support email. That's what we have already done. So in here it has even a footer that we can then add and do different things. So cool. So let's take this. Let me just get a new block so I can copy the text first, and then I can distribute it across the different. So normally, yeah, you can have an image. So let's So because I don't have their name yet, I'm gonna eliminate this hi first name, because if you remember, they only are giving me the email. So we said that we're gonna give them a 20% on the first order, and the code is SMS 20. It's not SMS from like messages, but Star Merch Store. Okay. Then this part here, I wanna break it down so I can add something a little bit different. Let me add. And the reason that I'm breaking it down is so I can have different content. So I'm gonna add a button. So if I go in here into content, I can then bring something different, or you see the button here. So I can just clone this. And then when I click, you can add emojis to it. And then my URL. Okay. I can remove this button. Yeah. As I'm going through the whole process, I want to make sure. Do you see that it says save, but changes are not published? One thing that in any programming, anything, I like to make sure that my changes are getting saved and applied to what it is. So if the internet fails, something fails, so I like to publish, so I get them. So you see now they're applied. And as I'm building, this little eye in here give me to view the email, how it's starting to look. Cool. So I want to add the social. Instead, here say join our community on social media, blah blah blah. So that's what I want to make this a little bit more interactive. So I can have the option. And be able to do this. And so it can be a little bit different than the rest. So now that I have these icons in here, the platform give me the option that I can click in here, and I can have more options like the title. Here's one detail that I personally love of the new platform, and I do it to my clients constantly. It's like sometimes you don't remember if you have a long URL for the different social medias, but you may probably know your domain and if it's for Facebook or Instagram or stuff like that. So one of the things that I do is that I created what is called a redirect. So I'm gonna use them in here first, and then I'm gonna show you how to create those. Again, this was not a training. This is supposed to be me working. So what I did is that for each of the social media networks, I created on my main domain, I created a short link in terms that when somebody click, it goes somewhere. So I'm gonna go, let me change them all. And in this way, I don't have to remember, because sometimes you may have the same URL for or the same slug on all the networks, but sometimes you may not. So I want to make it easier for me. I am not that smart, so I try to make it very simple for me, and then I apply that to my customers to make them easier. Okay, so let's say that there is another network that I may not have here. So I can click add icon, and I have additional options that I can add. The one thing that I need is my YouTube channel. You see right now I added a little bar with icons that people know how to click when I'm asking them to join our community. I can change the size. I can put a little bit more spacing. So let's say in a phone, if people have to touch it, going that way. Again, I'll be publishing changes as I go through this. This one, I don't need it. Okay, so I am not selling laptops. And one of the details that when you delete something, it goes and select the previous block as the one that you're gonna use. So you have to make sure that you don't then delete that other block. And then you may have, you see like this, that is a whole section. If you wanna delete this whole row, you can come on the left, or on the right, and delete the whole row. Okay, this is starting to be a little bit better. Okay. So for now, I'm going to then, I'm gonna add another row here. You're gonna see why. So in the content area, I want to put it as white. Content area is where your content is. So you see in here, the whole row is everything else besides it. So in that way, I can just go in there. And I want to now add a little image in here. Okay. At the end. Let me look at something. looking for one of our signature images. I'm gonna have to. This. Okay, now we can upload the image. What I wanted was, I have one that I created that is a signature. Yep. There you go. Okay, there we go. So now I can save these changes. Okay. One of the cool things is that when you're leveraging ClickFunnels, it adds your unsubscribe link and all that kind of stuff, so I don't have to worry about it. But if you remember, we got a PS, a footer that we can use, so we can change this part in here to the PS. This part is already created, but if you want to add the follow-us or anything like that, you can add that. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move this PS to the bottom after. So let's just clone this. Okay. Okay, perfect. So we have the first welcome email. You can also, if you see there's a little bit of space between the two of them, you can click on that text and you're gonna see that there's options for the padding. So I can, there you go, put a little bit less padding. I can publish this. Oh, we have our email now ready to go. All the social media icons are there. I'm actually gonna move them down because the whole idea of the email is so they can start connecting with us. So let's move this. Yeah. Let me add a little paragraph in here. I'm gonna put the follow us. Okay. Now the email is ready. Okay, push it again, make sure that now it's in the correct place. And then from here, I can actually even test. Oh, I did not change this link. So let me just change this links. Because you see, sometimes people know the words and they click, and sometimes they know. So what I had to do is select the text, and you see where's this to remove, this is to edit. So it has a hash. And normally this type, I go open a new window so they don't lose the email. Okay, and let's publish. Just look first. Okay, perfect. So now I have my email. If I click in here, I'm gonna open my Instagram. If I click here, gonna go to Twitter or X. There you go. And in here, oops, I did not put it on a new window. So let's, and that's a cool thing about you testing what you're doing. So in that way, you can make sure that it works as expected. So you see, I forgot to change the target to new window. And the whole idea of that is that people are looking at your email. If the other one click by mistake or intentional somewhere else, they lost your email. So in that way, you keep them in here. Okay. This is all done. Now what you could do is that you can actually send yourself a test email. So you can decide, okay, so welcome to March store. And this will send an email that you can check in your environment. So go here. Okay, so let me show you. So this is the way that then you can test when you arrive. You see that on the bottom it has all the details and have the information for you. So in that way, you have your email. Now you can actually see it after it goes. If you see that these sides are gray and you don't like it, you can just change the color for the whole row. But in that way, you have an email that you created in a very simple way. Now our opt-in workflow, it's technically complete if all that I'm doing is just sending them a welcome email. If you want to do other things, you can add additional stuff. So in my case, for the store, we're just gonna do this first one. And on the top, let me just go here. This status, you need to switch it to enable so you can get them to, when somebody come in, that they could actually get tagged, and then you can send them an email. That's one of the steps that I was missing. So I have my workflow. Now, one of the details that I am building is that I have all my products, but I don't have the categories. So I'm building the categories. So I'm gonna show you. So you can tag the different products, but in order for them to be organized in groups, that's called a category. So we need to tag them. So I was already working on page, I think that was page 8. let's see, was I in page 9? Yeah, I was in page 9. You see, I'm adding a specific category for the long sleeve shirts. Like, so when they click, it will appear as that. So all that I have to do, this one's already tagged. So I'm gonna go to page 10. So one of the cool things that you can, on the bottom, you're gonna see the navigation. Now I'm gonna take, let's see, I have a lot of them, but I see a regular shirt, so I'm gonna be careful. I can select on the top and then I can come on the bottom and untag that. Yeah, their own long sleeve. And I'm gonna go to bulk actions, tag selected, long sleeve, save. Now, because I was on page 10, I don't want to have to click through a ton of them, so I could just go back into the URL here on the top. And if I just add question mark page 11, that is like me manually going to the bottom and doing it. So again, I try to do things easy for me. So now we are again, this is so I can make all the categories, make it easier. Okay. If you have any questions about ClickFunnels or your digital marketing, only regarding technology and life, you can drop it on the chat and we can take a look at that. Okay. We're now getting to the end of the long sleeve. Now we have other shirts. And then we're gonna start with the hoodies. So we're gonna do the same thing. So we're on page 13. You're gonna see why this is important, because then you want your store to work efficiently and simple. The whole idea is that people can find the products and then your store will move fast. So now I'm gonna start with the hoodies. So I'm gonna do a selection, but in the opposite. I'm gonna remove. And now I have all these other hoodies. So let's go. Yeah, all these are hoodies. We're almost finishing. So there are 18 pages. So we're on page 15. Okay. Drop me a comment. Do you like the music? You prefer different music for some of these sessions? This is maybe an interesting way of doing different sessions. So we go now and we have different products in here. So let's, in here, let me just lower the. If you see now I have, because again, you don't add all the products at once. And this was my mistake. I didn't tag them at the beginning. So I actually have only like 3. There's another hoodie over here. This is a long sleeve. I just want to finish with the hoodies on the page first. Go back to page 17. And now we have here a different category. So we have the water bottles or the drinkware. I'm gonna select all those. And tag them. Drinkware, perfect. Oops. Okay. Now we have some more long sleeve. These two are hoodies, so let's just tag the first ones. Two more hoodies on this page. Okay, so we have some more in here. So let's finish the hoodies first. Okay, now we have some other women's shirt. No more women's shirt. Okay. last couple of them. Okay, so now we have all of our products tagged for the categories that I want to create. So the collections, I'm going to click on the products collections. And now in here, I start creating different categories. So I have a man, a woman, and all for all products. Drinkware, hoodies, long necks, and hats. So we're bringing some hats later on. So I'm going to go through the ones that I already created so you can see an example. And I can click on the category name. And one of the cool things that I can now add those tags, and I can use those tags to create different categories. So like I have a name, I have a description, so I can even put an image. So let's say but again, I want to probably be a little bit more easier to find. So please create a description for a men's t-shirt category so it can be SEO friendly. Cool. So here I have the details. I'll pick an image. So I have now the base information. But what I want to come down is in this collection type. You have two types of collections. You have a manual collection and an automatic. If you pick manual, that means that you manually gonna be picking each individual item that you want in the collection. If you pick automatic, you can select information from the product so it can come together and you can actually then create those collections. So in this case, I'm gonna look for a product tag and it's one of. So if the product have one of these tags, add them in. So I have man, I have menswear, and what I'm gonna do is that I have the option to, let's say, I can combine different ones. So if I want to add the long sleeve or the hoodies, but I want to have it separate, so in that way people can look for them specifically, then you're gonna see that you have an option to sort your collection. So in that case, my decision is that I want to bring it in and say, hey, sort it from A to Z. You can have by price, by the recently, by when they were created. I'm gonna make it easy, A to Z, so in that way you can go and look for them. And then it will show different ones in here. But one of the details that I'm seeing is that it's mixing hoodies. So it looks like one of the tags. So let's change this tag. I think the menswear may be the tag that it may be changing. And the other cool thing in the description is that the description, when it appears on SEO so they can find it online, it will appear with your description. Oops. A lot of people are doing stuff now. There you go. Okay, so let me just go back to women. I'm gonna do the same thing. Okay. There's so many images. There you go. Okay, we want to do the same thing. We want to have the woman category. Okay, let's see if it updated the category. Okay, yep. Good. Okay, so let's go now work on the hoodies. I'm gonna go into automatic, create filter, product tag is one off. I don't know if my Chrome is. Okay, let's try to. No, I will just delete this category and try it again. Okay, something's happened with that collection. That could happen, so let's. Waiting. Okay. categories should automatically, yep, you see they're starting to appear on the bottom automatically as the category gets filled up. This one for all, I need to create a different image, but actually this one, because it's small number, let me go and let's filter product tag drinkware, and this will bring me this one. So let's see, I wanna okay, and now I could go into the collection, drinkware, no, I want to as a PNG, sorry. Okay. It's not going back. Okay, let me check. See, that's how you find the problems. It look like one of the links is not working. Sometimes you need to process a little bit. Okay, let's. Sometimes Chrome cache something, so let me just. Actually bringing that collection. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that, but I saw a problem on the link, so let me just. So I have in the products, I have this universal section. Oh, That's why it didn't work, because it's just sending back. Okay. Now this will send you back. There we go. But I probably want it, instead of all the way back, I want it back to the shop. Okay, let me just try to refresh this. Let's check the products that we have the correct tagging. Yes, I only have a small amount. Okay, so then why is this not? Oh, interesting. None of them are working now. So let's go and check what is happening. This is the fun part of when you're building a new project. You find the problems and how do you solve those problems. Let's check the collection. That's what it is. It wasn't a filtering by collection. I thought that that was okay. So in here, let me go back. So on the products, I only want to show the ones that are in the collection that is selected, that is going to. So the way to filter that is that you go into the products collection, and here filter by collection. So the collection that is coming in, that's the only one that's gonna come up. And one thing, by testing and checking on Google, the page speed, if I limit this collection, so instead of bringing everything in the collection, just the first 21 products, because like I have 3 rows, so it will build those rows. That's actually the best way to do that. So let's now try to bring we'll continue doing this, but my coffee is low. So I'm gonna have to go and refill my coffee and then come back. So I'm not sure if I'll be back, but if you're watching this later on, drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought about it. If you like this style, and we'll see you, my friends. Another stream, another video.